Hi there, thanks for joining me. Today I'm working with the On the Go collection from Stampin' Up to create a single page layout, or what could also work as a title page for a travel album. This designer series paper is so vibrant, lots of pinks and greens, and it's just perfect for those travel themed projects. I especially love this sheet with all the little suitcases and bags. They're the perfect size to fussy cut out and use as embellishments, which is exactly what I plan to do. So here are the photos I am scrapbooking today. Isn't this one amazing? My husband snapped this picture as we were flying into Charlottetown, PEI. You can see the Confederation Bridge. He always picks the window seat and ends up getting the best in-flight shots. And then we have this fun one of the three of us in our seats. This collection was released a little while ago as part of an online exclusive, and I've had it in my stash for a bit, so I'm excited to finally use it. As for paper selection, I'm wanting to use this teal pattern paper with all the travel icons on it. There's blue in the picture from the sky. My husband is wearing a pale green sweatshirt. I'm in denim, and Evan has on a black hoodie. So it works really well with my photos. I also noticed a bit of pink and teal from the airplane's lighting. So I'm bringing in this pink pattern paper with the little geo tabs on it. Then I'll fussy cut out some of the bags and tags from these two pattern papers. I love pink. Actually, I painted the walls in my craft room a beautiful shade of pink. That's how much I like pink. So anytime I can work it into a layout, I absolutely will. And as a boy mom, that's not all that often. So let me clear this all away, and I'll bring in a piece of white Willow cardstock. There's a lot of color in this collection, so starting with a white base gives me that clean background and a nice place for your eye to rest. So here's what I'm thinking for the design. I'll run this teal pattern paper down the left edge, then tuck the pink pattern underneath and run it horizontally across the layout. My pictures will sit on it here, and to create a bit of a shelf for the pictures and embellishments and bring in the blue from the sky, I'll add a strip of the coordinating cardstock right about here. I'm going to cut everything down, and I'll be right back in a second with the measurements. So this travel icon paper measures 4 by 12 inches. The pink geotab paper is 7.5 by 8. And the Azure afternoon cardstock is trimmed down to 2.5 by 12 inches. Both pictures are 3 by 4. One is portrait and the other one is landscape. That is including the white border. Now, to help my photos stand out, I want to bring in a bit of black. Basic black is listed as one of the coordinating colors in this collection. You can see it in the outlines of the icons on the teal paper. And I thought I'd echo that by matting the pictures with a 1/4 inch black border. The layout is full of vibrant color, so using a bit of black adds contrast and helps the photos really stand out. Before I get too much further, I'm going to define the edges of all of my paper layers with some black ink. Again, I'm using black to help balance out that brightness of these vibrant patterns. Now, I haven't decided if this strip will get its own album or if I'll work it into my 2023 yearbook. Honestly, I haven't scrapbooked much of 2023 yet. A lot happened, but it was a lot of the same stuff. Now, my oldest son did graduate and moved away from home. Yes, some big milestones for sure. But aside from that, the year was mostly football and fires. So apart from this trip and Aiden's big moments, The album might end up feeling a little repetitive, and I don't know about you, but documenting big events can be hard, and I tend to put them off. Not good, I know. For right now, I'm focusing on documenting this trip, and we'll see how the rest of it comes together. Off camera, I spent some time fussy cutting out a few icons from the pattern paper. For me, the best results come from using really sharp scissors and moving the paper around the scissors rather than trying to steer the scissors through the paper. I like to leave a small white border around the image, and unless it really bothers me, I don't stress about cutting out the tiny white areas in the middle, like the opening on the suitcase in the handle, for example. In addition to the elements I fussy cut, I also pulled a few stickers from a sticker sheet I had in my stash. The colors work really well with this collection, so I figured why not put them to good use. For my title, I'm using Our Trip, and I like how it fits in this open space here. Then I've got a bunch of fun bits to work with, luggage tags, stickers, and different bags. Starting with the larger pieces, I'm going to use this tag as the base of my first cluster and build up from there. I want a good mix of colors across the page. This suitcase is missing a corner, but it's totally fine. I'm tucking it under the photo so you won't even notice. Then I'll layer in this orange backpack. I'm thinking of adding this pink tag here. I'm not sure, maybe not. I feel like this spot needs some white space. I don't want to repeat the same tags again, so instead I'm bringing in this white circle. It helps anchor this area and gives me a nice base for an embellishment cluster. Because I don't want my clusters directly across from each other, I'm going to shift this photo down a bit. That creates a nice diagonal flow with the embellishments, and I really like how that's looking. To repeat the green and blue from the first luggage tag, I'm going to bring in a green suitcase and this blue duffel bag. Now I want to add just a pop of pink to balance things out. It's so much fun to work with a variety of embellishments. Mixing and matching pieces until everything just clicks into place is one of my favorite parts of scrapbooking. I think this yellow tag works well in the other cluster, tucked in right behind here. Now let's see what else I've got. Here's a pink arrow sticker that says "Let's Go" in orange writing. I chose stickers that pull in the same colors I used in the title, especially ones that really aren't showing up elsewhere on the page, like this light pink arrow. I'm going to place that here, kind of pointing towards us in the photo. I also have this little luggage claim sticker, and there's this orange airplane from the same sticker sheet. It fills in this open space here nicely. And a passport I fussy cut out earlier. From the coordinating stamp set, Tags to Go, there's a phrase I really like: "Today marks an adventure." I'm thinking I can stamp it onto this luggage tag. It'll fit perfectly if I scoot the embellishments down a tiny bit. Since this is a cling stamp, I'm going to use my mini MISTI to help with placement and make sure I get good coverage. I'm not too worried about it being perfectly straight, just as long as the words are readable. And a quick tip: if you're using thicker red rubber stamps like this one, be sure to remove the foam insert from your MISTI. That way the stamp sits at the right height for even pressure. I'll place the tag in the top corner of the stamping tool and use the magnet to hold it in place. I want the words up in this area here. Then I'll close the door to pick up the stamp. And I'm going to use Night of Navy ink. I could have used black, but since there's navy in the title, I want to echo that color elsewhere on the layout. Now you definitely don't need MISTI to use stamps on your layouts. This one was actually a Christmas gift from my boys, so I might as well use it, right? All right, I'll ink it up and close the door. I like to give it a little rub with my fist or my hand. That first impression didn't give me the best coverage. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp it again. Oh, I missed a little spot there. Nope, I'm gonna need to do it one more time. Okay, I'm really glad that I used the Misty on this one then. Much better. I'll clean everything up here, and once that's done, I'll slide everything back into place. Off camera, I used a hole punch from my stash to add holes to the tops of the tags that are already in place. I also want to include a little journaling on this page. So I'm picking out one more blue and green tag to add to the bottom of the cluster. This one works perfectly. I like how this orange tag looks layered behind that, and I'm just going to keep tucking in a few more tags to add height and fill in the clusters. I keep wanting to add more blue here, then second guessing and taking it away. I really hope I'm not the only one that does this. I'm moving the Let's Go arrow sticker over to the left-hand cluster. Maybe here or down here. Yeah, I like that. I'm just going to keep playing a bit, auditioning pieces until I like the overall look. I'm also trying to repeat colors across the layout, like this navy geo tab over here to balance things out. These pictures are from our summer 2023 trip. My son Aiden was living in New Brunswick for the year, attending university and playing on the football team. We wanted to visit, see his new surroundings, and catch a preseason game. And of course, explore the area. We flew into Charlottetown, PEI, and planned to spend a few days there before heading over to New Brunswick. And there I go, doing it again with the blue tag. Off camera, I wrote out my journaling and noted that we flew into PEI with a quick layover in Vancouver and that we were super excited for our East Coast adventure. I also went ahead and stamped a date stamp using the Tags to Go set. I'll tuck that tag in right here, leaving space to write Confederation Bridge so I remember what it was called. Since that part of the tag will be hidden, I'm going to trim it off and tuck it in behind the pink pattern paper up here to create a third embellishment cluster. To fill in this little open space, I'm adding a pale pink sticker that says "Let's Fly." Okay, I'm bringing that blue tag back into the right hand cluster. I think it helps balance the blue in the in-flight photo, creating a visual triangle with the blue sky, the cardstock strip, and now this tag. Then I'll tuck the passport up into the top cluster, add a little pink heart here, another blue heart down in this cluster, and I like how this is coming together. For the third cluster, I don't want to add too much since it's already so close to the title. I pulled out an older close to my heart stamp set called Sightseer. I want to use the Now Boarding stamp under the photo of the three of us in our seats. Then I want to use the Contrail stamp going out from behind the pattern paper, stretching up towards the plane, almost like a takeoff trail. So I'll clear the area, grab some scratch paper, and stamp with black ink. I've used this stamp a bunch, but I'll test it out first just in case. Okay, I think this is a good spot. I'll hold it in place for a second. Perfect. I'll move everything back and take a look. Yep, I really love that. It added just that little touch. If you don't have travel theme stickers, don't worry, you can totally make your own. For example, the title I used could easily be recreated with cardstock cut into banner shapes and some alphabet stamps. If you happen to have the birthday celebrations dies, this includes a great banner shape too. Just add a little bit of twine to hang your banner and it would look fantastic. The Now Boarding stamp I haven't used in a while, so I'll test it first to make sure I'm getting good coverage. Looks like this might take a couple tries to get it solid. Once I'm happy with it, I'll stamp it directly onto the layout. I love when I get to use my stamps and other supplies from my stash. I don't know about you, but I bought these items with the intention of using them and still plan to do that. I mean, I have supplies from 2008. I have 3 small arrow stickers. I'm going to use them to fill in this space on the tag. For finishing touches, I did purchase the full suite, which includes these adorable puffy stickers. You get 2 full sheets with a mix of shapes and all coordinating colors, like arrows, stars, geotags, little stamps, and key rings. I think I'll start with this pink geotab to fill in this little space here. If you've ever flown into PEI, you might have seen the Confederation Bridge from above. It's hard to miss. I'm just going to add a green arrow pointing to the now boarding stamp. It's what connects Prince Edward Island to the mainland. It's nearly 13 kilometers long. It took us about 10 minutes to drive across. Seeing it from this bird's eye view as we flew in, you really get a sense of just how long and impressive it is. At that time, I couldn't wait to drive over it in our trip. Maybe a yellow arrow over here to balance out the yellow tag from the opposite side. I was thinking about adding more to the top cluster, but now I'm kind of leaning towards keeping it more minimal and letting the title shine. In the meantime, I want to dress up these bear tags. The suite also came with 3 colors of twine: Azure Afternoon, Shy Shamrock, and Strawberry Slush. I'm going to cut 2 pieces of each color about 4 inches long and tie them onto the tags that match. For the tags that don't have matching colors, like the orange or the yellowed ones, I'll use whatever color I haven't repeated yet. To tie them on, I fold the twine in half, loop it through the hole, and once I have a little loop in the front, I tuck the tails through and pull it gently until it's snug. Just be careful not to pull too hard. You don't want to rip the tag. I'll finish the rest of the tags off camera. I did end up bringing the passport embellishments back in and added a black arrow to complete that 3rd cluster. A few of the twine ends were interfering with the title and the date, so I used a little Bearly art glue to tack them down, curling them into place in a way that felt natural. The only embellishments I popped up on dimensionals was the little map I fussy cut out from the pattern paper. I felt like that was enough added height, especially with the puffy stickers already creating dimension. And that's it. I really love how this layout turned out. It's bright and simple, and I think it makes the perfect first page to a really fun trip. Thank you so much for watching and for all your amazing support. It truly means the world to me that our little community is growing together. Your kind comments and encouragement really brighten my day, and I absolutely love creating these scrapbook layouts with you. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you haven't already. And don't forget, you can find still shots of this layout and more on my Instagram. And here's a video to watch next. And thanks again for being here. I can't wait to see you in the next video. Happy crafting!